Welcome to Resident Benefit, a story of connection between research, practice, and everyday life.
Hi, I'm Cedric Kik. I'm a resident of Schouwen-Duiveland. Schouwen-Duiveland is the region where the research project took place. I experienced resident benefits myself and told the researchers about that during the participation session of the project. I'll tell you what tourism means for me and my neighborhood and how it felt to be part of the project.
What do you associate with the term resident benefits, and what role does it play in your everyday life or work?
When I hear the term resident benefits, I think of locals, people feeling valued. On Schouwen-Duiveland, it's not just about the amount of tourism, it's about how tourism can give something back to the people who live here. Like lively villages, nice walking and cycling routes, or events that locals can visit. In my work, I always try to make sure tourism fits the island. That it support local shops and businesses, that it brings good energy without taking too much. When locals feel proud of the places there where they live and feel part of what is happening, that's the real benefit. So for me, resident benefit means tourism that works for the people who live here, not just for the visitors.
What a beautiful way to describe resident benefit. You just said that you want to make sure that tourism fits the island. What exactly did you mean by that?
These days, it's important to find balance in tourism. Where and when do visitors come to our island, and what kind of visitors do we actually want to welcome? As a resident, we've grown tired of the type of guest who often comes now, the German guests, for mostly. We're looking for a new kind of guest, someone who looks beyond the beach, someone who explores our culture and hospitality, and who truly takes interest in the place that they're visiting. So when you're interested in our history, in our hospitality, and in our culture, you're mostly welcome to Schouwen-Duiveland.
What made you want to participate in the project, and what was your role?
I enjoyed it because I'm a local. Everything that helps the island, I'm happy to participate. For me, tourism on Schouwen-Duiveland gives more than it takes. But we have to keep saying that out loud. We cannot take it for granted. The balance is pretty good now, in my opinion, but we have to stay sharp. Don't relax too soon. In Zealand, our island, is leading the way, in my opinion, of course. But people don't always see that way, and that could change. And if I can help, even small, I'm happy to do so. My role in the project was to bring two photos, one of the benefit of tourism and one of the downside of tourism. The first photo I brought was the photo of the local supermarket from the village I live. There are two big supermarkets over there in a village with only 2,700 people living in there. Because of that number of residents, we don't need two big supermarkets. But because of tourism, we are able to have those.
You said you had to bring two photos, one about the benefits and one about the downsides of tourism. Was one of the two easier to pick, or do you personally perceive the benefits and disadvantages as balanced?
For me, the photo showing a downside of tourism was easier to choose. But when you think of the positive sides, it makes you happier. It's important to think of that we're living on a place where people are choosing to come to spend their free time. And if you think like that, it's easier to see the benefits and accept that sometimes tourists are arriving a little bit slower than we're used to. But also, if you think of people who are just visiting, are also searching for things to see and are looking with different glasses to the islands.
What has the project brought you, your organization, community, or the academic field? Has it changed your perspective or way of working?
If the project changed my mind about tourism, not really. For me, I always felt it was a benefit to the island. To be honest, I only was strengthened by the group. People who are against or strongly minded about tourism are mostly of a certain age or haven't been born here, so they come with an outside view on the island.
Why do you think this project is also important for the other parties?
As a resident, it's hard for me to say why this will be good for others. I just don't know enough about what will happen with it. But what I can say is if you do this, make sure you bring together a diverse group of people, young and old, people who are for tourism and people who are against tourism. That's the only way to get a strong and dynamic group that can really make a difference. In our group, the dynamic was great. There were a lot of different people with different views and in different stages of life, and that really helped.
3 perspectives, 1 shared journey. Resident Benefit shows what can happen when research, work field, and communities come together in real life. It is a prime example of how research and industry can connect and have great impact. Throughout the day, you will follow sessions that are made to inspire you and show the magic that can happen when we build bridges between knowledge and industries. Just now, you were only able to listen to one perspective. If you're curious about the other ones, you can find them on the South website.